Hi everybody, my name is Tina and today I want to share with you a website called DocsTeach. This is an online tool for teaching with historical documents as well as other types of primary sources that aren't necessarily text like photograph, art, artifacts, etc. From the National Archives and Records Administration, your tax dollars already pay for this service, so there is no additional fee for accessing it as a teacher or a student. I selected this because as a social studies coordinator, I really want to promote the use of analyzing primary sources to understand the world and history. And I think it's really important for kids to understand that that's how we use to make sense of the past, but it's also how we make sense of the present. My goal into sharing this particular resource is to show you some quick and easy access to primary sources that a lot of times for teachers can feel pretty overwhelming about how to integrate it. And this website has already kind of curated these ideas for you. And so my intended audience initially would be to show teachers how to use this, and then they would be having their students hop on this interactive platform and take a look at the documents as well. So first I'm going to show you just kind of how to explore the documents. Right now what they've done here is they've created historical time periods that generally fall in a traditional U.S. history kind of timeline. And so you can click on, like if you know you're going to teach on something from 1968 to present, you can click on that collection, and any kind of artifact that seems to fit in there will be pulled up. So it could be photographs, it could be maps, charts, graphs, text, there could be videos, there could be oral histories. There's a whole bunch of different types of artifacts that kids could be grappling with. And then what a teacher could do is, let's say they wanted to put a couple of pictures right next to each other, or they just wanted to give a student one picture and ask them some questions over it, then they could. So if you just clicked on an individual photograph and blew it up, then you get the sourcing information at the bottom and how it can be accessed and cited. And then you can always download it and save it to your own collection, so that way you can use it as your own lesson and you can add questions and activities to it. So going back to that main menu, we can go back and see right there we were just exploring the different primary source documents, but now we can go to discover activities that you can teach with it. There's a bunch of different types of activities that people have created already for using it. Sometimes it's going to be analyzing, comparing and contrasting different types of resources. And I already have one kind of pulled up for you, but this is called What is Happening in This Photograph. And so let's say I'm teaching something on the fight for civil rights. This is a Zoom crop activity. The student will be clicking on, go ahead and start this activity. And this is the directions that they're going to see is pay attention. Well, what do you see? Pay attention to the person's face and body. Who do you think they are? What do you think they're doing? And what makes you say that? And after kids get a chance to do that, they will click on where it says switch view, and it's going to zoom out. And now that kids have zoomed out, what are some additional things they see? Now, where do they think they are? What do they think the people in the photo want, and what new questions come to mind? So it just shows students how your perspective can change the more of a story that you can see or the more of a photograph you can see. So this is just one example of the type of activity that's used there. I highly recommend DocsTeach for teachers because also in addition to all these different types, see if I can get this one to pull up. On this one, this might be like a timeline. There's a couple different ones. This one's really good. The evaluating perspectives on westward expansion. Basically, when the kid starts the activity, they're going to answer the question, was westward expansion necessary or were the consequences too great? And when they do that, they're going to look at these individual artifacts here at the bottom. And then once they've opened it, read it, then they're going to drag and drop that document for where they think it's changing their mind. So this gives you a little bit of background. You can click on hide or show the transcript because kids probably are going to struggle being able to read that text. And then after they've looked at it, then they can say, okay, the Fort Laramie Treaty convinced me more that it was necessary or it wasn't. And then after the kids kind of grapple with all of these things, then they're going to be able to look back and see where, oh, maybe this document kind of, I'm not really sure where that puts me, but these make me really think that the impact was not worth it. And so after kids go through the whole thing, then they can create their argument about their answer to the question. So there's a bunch of different activities on here that are really great. I would highly encourage principals to make their teachers aware of this, because then, of course, at the very end, you can always go back and create your own activity like this using your own documents. So they can either explore, discover activities that have already been made, or create their own. I think this is really great for integrating primary sources, and it's free and always will be because your tax dollars pay for it. Doing this will help ensure that all students have access to technology, especially if you do it in the classroom, and connectivity. And this is going to be this engaging learning opportunities, like ISD1B says. And in addition, hopefully it will inspire a culture of innovation and collaboration that allows the time and space to explore and experiment with digital tools such as this one as spelled out in ISD3C. I hope you enjoy the site.